What's up? I'm Gyro, and I wasn't gonna make a video about this, but I feel like I have to defend myself on this because yesterday I just saw the video now, but yesterday I saw there was a video posted about me, just a complete lie. And it's disgusting. Honestly, it's like one of the worst videos I've ever seen.
Away with saying you're on speedrun.com. Have you ever been the victim of being called a slur? Well, I have. And this is from a moderator on the speedrun.com website. Unfortunately, because it's a smaller community, he runs the entire ship on his own. And he's been changing rules, self verifying, and rejecting anybody who's been faster than him for a long time now. And what happened when I reported this moderator for his hate speech towards me? Well, I received a ban due to unacceptable behavior. And, as for Gyro, well, he's still moderating games with no repercussions whatsoever. And that's how you can get away with saying you're on speedrun.com.
Just like it's crazy, but so pretty much about a year ago, in the past few years, I've been moderating this game on speedrun.com. It's such a stupid situation because it's like I'm just moderating this like really niche game for this speedrunning this game that pretty much is like nobody plays it. But a few years ago, I made a pretty like big effort to try to make it big, but I don't know, it just didn't work, and I just moved on, you know. So years later, which is about a year from now, I started in 2020, and then a year ago, I was still moderating the game the whole time. By the way, sometimes here and there, someone would submit a run, but that was the extent of it. You know, they would submit one or two runs, but that's about it. Um, about a year ago, somebody new joined named Spacebar, and uh, I was just, you know, we would talk or in DMs, sometimes in voice chat. You know, he would ask questions. I would try helping him out as much as I could because there's no like guides really for the game. It's, you know, I guess I didn't give as much effort as I could have. You know, I could have made guides, but I didn't. So there was some questions he had. I explained. You know, he seemed like a really cool guy at first, but as time went on, uh, there was something that he started implementing in runs, and it's called pause buffering. And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much to be more precise, you can pause the game and put an input while the game is paused, and then when you unpause, that input will be into the it will be like it will be put into the game as you unpause pretty much. And if you've never played on a Dreamcast, which is what the game is played on, it's it's some of the worst controls ever. The controller feels horrible. It's very hard. It's very difficult to be precise on this game. By the way, this is like I'm not reading off a script right here, so you gotta bear with me. It's kind of like ranting, so just bear with me. But it's not precise at all, and this controller's horrible. I can bring it up real quick. I have a controller right here. It's really bad. Uh, like this analog itself, it always feels stiff. It's just very imprecise. Like it's just horrible. Just even the way the controller's shaped, it's really bad. And the wire comes out of the bottom, like it's just real janky. It's really weird. But um, so he was pause buffering, so you could be a lot more precise in taking certain lines. Uh, so he would get a better time overall, and it would make it more consistent. He would consistently get more runs out. Um, Later he proved that pause buffering actually loses you a small amount of time, very small amount of time each time you pause. But still, I would say just the fact that you're using that controller and the game, if you've ever played the game, it feels so delayed. It's so weird to explain. It's so hard to explain. The game itself just feels like it has a built-in delay. Just pause buffering, it's going to get you so much more consistent runs and stuff. This is for individual levels, by the way, not the entire game. You could pause buffer in the entire game if you want because you're timing with real time. For the individual levels, we use the in-game timer. So I guess it's more of a problem, I would say. Um, so pretty much nobody ever pause buffered before, and it's not because we didn't know it was a thing. He thinks we didn't use it because like we just weren't smart enough to implement it or figure it out. It's the dumbest thing. But I before Toy Commander, I speed ran other games, so I know what it is. I used it in another game actually. I used to speedrun Battle for Bikini Bottom. And you use pause buffering, and well, you don't have to, but I do because it's insane. There's certain tricks. There's a 1 frame timing for a lot of tricks. So and loading in different levels. You have to jump on the first frame of a level loading in. Like it's sick. So I used pause buffering for that, but it was a full run. It wasn't individual levels, like I said. There's no in-game timer you use in that game. It's completely different situation. And like I said, you're allowed to pause in a full game run for Toy Commander. But nobody used it. Nobody. There were people that were neutral about it. Previous members. So there were people that were either neutral about it or weren't playing the game. They never used it though. They still never used it. It was never something ever used ever. The people that were still active in the community, somewhat active, they didn't want it. There was, I would say though, at the time that this came up and this was a problem, there was 5 active people in the game somewhat. It was me, Spacebar, 2 other people, and someone else. That he submitted like one level. It was funny though. It was such a funny level. But one of them was I'm not trying to name people, by the way. I'm not trying to, bring other people into this. I'm just gonna talk about Spacebar here. One of the people was neutral about it. 3 people, including me, didn't want it, and Spacebar wanted you to be able to be paused. Wanted you to be able to pause buffer in a IL. So I just felt like, based off that, we just, we didn't want it. Also, 3 of us were people that have been in the community for years, a long time. And we didn't want it. So I just made it a rule. I said, we're not allowed to pause buffer. And he just became so aggressive. Like, it was like a complete 180. Like, this person, I was talking to, I'm not saying I had much conversations with this guy, but, we talked in DMs. He seemed like a really cool guy. But it was like a complete 180. I can't explain it, but he just, it just seemed like he wanted to do everything in his power to get me. It was like I've never seen this before. It's crazy. But it's like something you hear in a YouTube video or something. Like they're trying to expose some guy. Like it's sick, honestly. But I'm gonna pull some stuff up, while I'm making this. But he kept saying he wanted to do a vote. He said, "Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote if the rule should pass or not." But the reason why he was saying that was because as soon as I agreed to a vote, I didn't agree to a vote, by the way, because I had a feeling he was going to do this. I need to do it. Tried to. Didn't work. So he said, let's do a vote. Before I fully agreed, I just kind of left it like I kind of left it in the middle. Like I didn't say I'm not gonna do a vote or I am going to. I didn't say anything yet. He randomly just invites a bunch of people to the Discord for the Toy Commander. I have a Toy Commander speedrunning Discord. He just invites a bunch of people to it, and he does that so that he can get the majority vote. People that don't play the game never submitted a run, by the way. Never. They didn't even try. Like, it's not even like he put much effort into trying to skew this vote. Because, like, he could have at least made them submit a run to make it look more legit. Like, they just don't want to play the game. Don't even want to try it. He told me himself that he tried to get his friends to play the game. They didn't even want it. Like, they just don't like it. But then they come in saying, yeah, I was thinking about speedrunning the game. Like, they're just straight up lying. And a moderator comes in and assesses the whole situation. I explain it to them, what happened. I said that, you know, he's inviting these people into the Discord to make it look like majority wants pause buffering, but they don't. They've never run in the game. They're not in the community. You can see the people that have actually submitted runs on the website. They're not, and none of these people are them. I said you should ask the people personally that actively run the game if they want it or not. And like I said, one person was neutral. Spacebar wanted it. Me and two other people didn't want it. So it was just like a pretty... It just wasn't a thing after that anymore, pretty much. So after that whole thing occurred, he left the Toy Commander community. He stops running the game. I don't know. It just like really bothered him, I guess. I don't know. A little bit after, he started submitting runs again. He gets every record in the game, which I applaud him for. He's a really good player, by the way. I never, said this guy was bad or anything. This guy is an amazing player. Even with the pause buffering, he didn't need a pause buffer, by the way. He understands, he knows because he plays the game a lot, that this controller and the game itself, it's very hard to be consistent because it just feels so delayed and the controller is horrible. The controls are really bad on that game. But he's an amazing player. I'll say it, he's the best Toy Commander player, easily. I mean, the evidence shows itself. As the whole thing with the pause buffering is going on, I actually, before it even happened, so I added the pause buffering as a rule, and I rejected some runs because he was pause buffering, and he just couldn't accept that, like, it was a rule. He just couldn't accept it. Even after all that, oh, by the way, I became, so the whole time I was playing this game, I was a mod, just a regular mod. The super mod was inactive, but, I was cool with just being a mod. I didn't have to be a super mod. It's fine. This guy, Spacebar, he said it himself too. He said it to me. He reported the super mod multiple times because he was inactive. I didn't want him to do this, by the way. I felt horrible when he was telling me this. I'm like, why would you do this? Like, what's wrong with this guy? That was already the signs showing, like, there's something wrong with this guy. So he mass reports this guy. So I can become a moderator. And I said, I was telling him beforehand, I was like, I would mod you, but I'm not a like super mod. I'm sorry, I can't. But I kept to my word. I became a super mod. Then I gave him moderator status. As soon as I gave him moderator status, the first thing he does is he changes the rule, and then he uploads a video explaining that it actually loses a little bit of time when you pause buffer. And then he auto verifies his own run, which he claims was an accident or something like that. I don't know. But so I unmod him. I reject that run that he submitted himself. And I explained why he lost his mod status, and then that's how the whole situation happened with when an actual moderator of the website had to get involved, and we explained the whole thing, and we did the vote, so-called vote, the vote with the actual active members, and a majority of them didn't want it. So because of the whole thing with the pause buffering and me removing his mod status, because he straight up changes a rule the first day he becomes mod. He changes a rule, he verifies a run that is against the rule that he changed, and this is what he DMs me. There's a bunch of DMs. I'm gonna go over a few of the damning ones, but this is one of them. Your actions are showing extreme bias, and this behavior is going to end. The way things are headed, you're not going to enjoy the ending too much if you don't drop your bias and start acting like a speed run community moderator, and less like a petty speedrunner. I'm just gonna get transparent with you. I've reached out to an SRC, which is speedrun.com, this is the abbreviation, head staff member, and I'm going to have a discussion with them and show them proof of your bias. Does it really need to come to that? Cringe, by the way, super cringe. I don't feel threatened, but I take this serious because he's literally threatening me. Not like bodily or anything, but not like I'm scared for my life, but he's trying to get me banned on the site when he's, actually being sick. But so I screenshot this and I report it. Him saying he's gonna report me, I report that. So I report it, and the reason why I report it is because one of the rules on the site that isn't tolerated is blackmail, and this is obviously blackmail. Clearly, this is blackmail, and he's threatening me. So yeah, I reported that, but it got denied. It didn't really go anywhere, but it did get investigated a little bit. I think right off the bat, like right here, this should have been a ban, if you ask me. But it was just so cringe. They couldn't take it serious, I assume. So it was whatever. Not that serious. So anyway, he goes to Lethal Company, and something happens with that. I don't know exactly. I'm not gonna talk about it because I wasn't there. But he gets permanently banned. So that happens. He's permanently banned. Almost a year later, about 10 months later, he gets unbanned from the site, and then he submits like 60 records in one day. And it takes me like a week to look through all these because I'm pretty thorough. I really do look at all of them. I actually watch the entire thing. I don't skim through. I'm actually watching actively. I take it very serious. I'm not half-assing this in any way. So I fully submit everything. I even DM'd. We were even talking to DMs. He doesn't apologize, by the way. He doesn't apologize. Doesn't come back saying, I was in the wrong, whatever, or I'm sorry I acted like that. Sorry I blackmailed you or threatened you or whatever. No, he doesn't say any of that. He just acts like it didn't happen. And I'm pretty. I'm just handling this professionally. I'm not saying I'm gonna be friends with this guy, but any concerns that have to do with the game, I'm down to talk about. Like, I'm not mad at this guy or anything. I don't hold any like grudges or anything. I don't care. But so I even he had some requests and for how the page should be and stuff like that. And I was even, we were talking to DMs, and I was really trying to work something out with this. And I even changed some stuff around. Took the time out of my day to do that and learn how to do it because I didn't know how to do it beforehand. So then, everything's seeming normal. And then fast forward a few days later, or weeks, I don't know. It was a bit, maybe 2 weeks or something. I don't know. He submits a run, and it's kind of controversial. Not to me, though, because I'm very strict on the rule. So in his run, he beats the level, but right before the run is fully finished, he pauses. And to be completely transparent, I'm being honest here, I'm not trying to lie. Him pausing or unpausing there's no inputs he could have possibly put to change his time. Like, the time was pretty much set in stone. But the thing is, in the rules, it's not fully specified and I don't feel like I have to because I feel like it's kind of obvious, but maybe not to some people, but to me it is. In the IO, it says that the recording must show you loading into the level to when the timer pops up. So I feel like you should assume that's what the run is considered, the level loading in to the timer popping up. So if you pause anytime in between, like you should just know it's not going to be accepted. I feel like to me that's obvious. The timer doesn't pop up yet, the run is still going. Like why would you pause? He pauses at the end because he said he was popping off. I've never paused because I popped off. I jump up, stand up, go crazy. I'm not pausing. That's like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I'm not saying he tried to do this intentionally to stir anything up, but I mean, it's just weird. So I rejected it because he paused. He broke a rule. Um, this is I'm strict on it. Like there's other people that have tried to do this. They didn't submit the run, but it's people I personally know. They showed me a recording, and I told them you can't use this because you paused, and it was a world record. If you want to get more technical, and I can say exactly what it was. This is mainly for Spacebar. No one else is gonna understand this, but someone tried to submit a run for this level called Dogfights, and in the level, um, at the time we were using a strat where you crash into another plane, and a lot of times it could fail or succeed. There were times where he thought he failed the level, so he would pause, but then he would unpause it, be like, oh, maybe I let me just see the time, and then he actually got the record. And I'm saying you can't use that. Happened multiple times. All right, let me just stop talking about that. It's dumb, but so I rejected the run, and he just like went crazy. He actually just went like insane because I rejected his run. Anything that happens that is just an inconvenience to this guy, or doesn't go his way, he just goes crazy. Like I don't know what it is. He has something in him, and the sad part about it is, um, I don't know who his friends are, but his friends, any one of my friends would say you just gotta stop, like you gotta chill, like they're enabling this behavior. Like I don't know why they see, like he's showing this to his friends. The reason why I know this is because like the people that went into my Discord to straight up harass the whole community for a fake vote or whatever. Like there's people enabling this guy like to act like this. It's weird. Like he needs some new friends that would be real with him and be like, look, you just like, they gotta tell him you're in the wrong. You gotta stop. You gotta chill. Like you're tweaking. Like any one of my friends would tell me. So this is what he DMs me. He DMs me saying the pauses after the stage is done because I popped off. I'm not gonna read these explicits, but you can see it yourself. The beep is wrong with you. And Big Sweepa, this is what I was talking about with that level where he would pause. He paused. This is the other player, by the way. Done that multiple times, which he did. And then he says, "Okay, I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm about to report you for being a bad mod. If you don't immediately go and accept that run." He said that while I was typing this, so I wasn't directly responding to this. And I said you can't use it. It's in the rules. And he's like, I don't give a beep, you little beep baby. So, like I did a year ago, I screenshot this and I report it because, like I said, this is blackmail and he's threatening me. He's blackmailing me. If I don't accept his run that is against my rules, he's going to report me. So, I submitted it as a support ticket on the website because it is against the rules. It's called blackmail. Look at the rules. You should read the rules. It's blackmail. If you actually read the rules, you would know you can't do that. I've never done it. I recently found out it was a rule because I was reading through the site rules and making sure this is a appropriate ban or this was appropriate like submission, which it is. It's one of the main rules. Go read it, Spacebar. So I submit a ticket. I say, so I'm not gonna try to show too much of the ticket, but I'm just gonna say what I said. I'm not gonna say what the staff said or anything. I'm gonna keep it personal. But this player was recently unbanned, and I thought he might have improved his behavior, but he's still acting the same. I declined his submission because it clearly broke one of the game's rules, and he starts threatening me. This is the same behavior he did before his ban, which is true. I have evidence. And pretty much the staff just said, like, this behavior is unacceptable. They agree with me. But they did ask about the rule, and I further explained what I just already explained beforehand. So I'm not going to talk about that. But so then he gets permanently banned because he broke one of the main rules. He was threatening me, and he was blackmailing me. Blackmail. That's the main keyword, by the way. That's one of the rules, blackmail. So, in my mind, I actually felt a little bad because when he got banned on beforehand, like a year ago, it seemed I was taking a peek at like the forums he was making and stuff, and because I just randomly looked at speedrun here and there. I check speedrun.com to see if someone like submits or DMs me or whatever. I always check here and there. And then I look at Toy Commander and I hover over his name and it says banned. This was a year ago, by the way. I'm like, why did he get banned? And then like I see his forum post. Like it seems like this, this community, and not Toy Commander, but just speedrunning as a whole, and this website means a lot to him. So I did feel bad. I did actually feel bad. Like, if anything, they could have talked to him or give him a temp ban and explain why. But they just permanently banned him. I felt a little bad. I don't feel bad at all anymore now, though. Not at all. After I see this, so that whole thing happens, and then I receive a DM from one of the mods of the website saying that it's our DMs, a screenshot, and this is what it is. I'm not gonna read it, but at the end there, it's me saying that. Apparently, it's not though. But so pretty much, he edits that in. And for the people that don't know this, because many people won't know this, because most likely you only know normal people. You don't know people like this that would just, it's trying to pretty much defame you in any way, just trying to report you and trying to get rid of you on this, like, a site this bad. Most people wouldn't know this, but there's no way for me to prove that I didn't say that. There's no way on Discord, officially, at least as I know, there's no way for me to prove this. See, the problem with the screenshot that I took, I took it with Gyazo, as you can see. And if you know how that program works, you take a select screenshot, and it's a select area. It's not like the entire page. So I didn't have a screenshot of the entire DM at the time. And he knew this. You can see it. So he sees my screenshot, and he knew he can take advantage of this, because as the mods question him on these messages, he sees the picture. He has the picture. He sees this picture, so he knows it's cut off, and he could take advantage of this. So he takes advantage of that, and he adds it at the end. So honestly, I was kind of like scrambling around figuring out how can I prove, because honestly, well, the moderators do have bad history with Spacebar, because he's already gotten previous banned. So it's most likely they would take my word, but I don't want that to be like, they just took my word and I couldn't prove. I felt like I needed to prove myself. So one of the things I was saying was, see, I submitted my screenshot literally as it happens. You see, that's why it says today, because I took the screenshot as it happened, today at, and then this is the time. His screenshot was multiple days later. And that's why Discord displays the date when you take a screenshot of something that happens multiple days later. So that's why it says 3/9/2025. If he's somebody that's, by the way, you know this guy's reported me multiple times already. If he's someone that's reporting me multiple times, why would he take this long to take a screenshot of me saying a slur and then like submit it days later? It doesn't make sense in any way. Like, nothing makes sense here. But luckily, I'm a genius. I keep forgetting this, but I'm a genius. And I actually took a screenshot of the entire DM on my phone. It's not edited. It's not cut off in any way. I took a screenshot 1 day later. So before he edited this days later. I took a screenshot 1 day later. And you can see here on the DM, it says yesterday. Doesn't say the date because I didn't take a screenshot of a message, a DM days later and then add it in like he did. It's disgusting. But you can see here, this is the full DM. This is the recent message. It says yesterday, and I didn't say it. It's right here. Fully proves it. You can even see the time I took the screenshot, 3:28 p.m. Like, it's literally a complete screenshot, 4K. Just exposed. He doesn't know this exists, by the way. I mean, they may have sent him this, but I don't think so. But he doesn't know this exists. So yeah, man, cringe for him. Very cringe. Very the irony of watching his YouTube video. It's very cringe. It's hard to watch because knowing I have the screenshot, it's very funny. But yeah, no, I just wanted I don't know. I just wanted to make a video about this, and man, we could say that this you know, the era of this guy just straight up stalking, harassing me, I think it's over now. This screenshot is just very damning. I showed them the screenshot, by the way, and they were on my side. That completely explained everything. That's all you have to know. So yeah, Spacebar, I want you to address the screenshot. We need you to explain why my message isn't there. I have a screenshot from my PC and my phone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, have a good day.